Good morning, and thank you so much for watching Sunday Kickoff. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me today, Walter Stringer, Jerry Martinez, Kendall Whitley. Gentlemen, how are you?
Wonderful. Another great week of football. Got some big games this week.
That's well said, Walter, right there. I mean, lack of better terms, man. I'm just super excited. I think that there's a bunch of great matchups.
Hey, week four.
Yeah, I mean, week 4, and we got some really great matchups. So let's go and get started with the show. Let's go and recap really quick Thursday night football in a very close game. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Jacksonville Jags 24-21. Bengals improved to 3-1 while the Jags remain winless. Did you guys have any quick thoughts on the game?
Yeah. Personally, I thought what I took away from it, I think the Jags are getting closer. They're competing a little harder. But I think what it came down to was last year's number one overall pick, Joe Burrow, and first-year head coach Zach Taylor, matched up with this year's first overall number one pick, Trevor Lawrence, and first-year head coach Urban Meyer. And I think the Bengals are currently where the Jags want to be, I believe, next year. I think Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow had a rough rookie season together. Zach took a lot of heat from the media in Cincinnati and nationally, considering the fact he was a first-time head coach, but he's got his quarterback back. Joe's got a lot of reps under his belt now. He had an entire offseason. There was no COVID offseason like it was last season. And like I said, I think the Jags they're getting closer. Hopefully next year, for their benefit, they'll be where the Bengals are now.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I mean, like you said, I think that they even who was it? Troy Aikman said that. No, was it Troy Aikman? Well, the announcer said that when they spoke to Trevor Lawrence said that they felt like they were getting closer, or
Mm-hmm.
that they were getting better. And you could see it. Using Trevor Lawrence's. I mean, they were using Trevor Lawrence completely, not just passing. I mean, the guy was running and he made some nice plays with his feet. So, I will say this. I mean, it those kinds of matchups, those are fun to see for the NFL because it just shows you what we're in store for possibly
Right.
for the next 10 years, right? And
Yeah.
if anything, it just show. What I saw pretty much one of the worst offenses and defenses in the current NFL ranking wise be able to match up with a top 10 defense in the Cincinnati Bengals. So I mean, I'm not saying that this is it, but I will tell you something: the AFC South has somebody to be careful with, and that's with Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. I mean, it's not going to be this season, but down the line, I mean,
I think the Jaguars. I mean, they're getting there. They're not there yet. They're up to what 0-3, 0-4, but they're getting there. They're not too far behind. They get a couple more pieces on defense. Get another receiver or two for Trevor Lawrence, and I'd say a tight end too. I think the Jaguars will be right there. The Bengals, they're looking pretty good, and then plus they're in that tough division, so that was a huge win for them.
Yeah, Bengals look
Uh,
good, and Trevor Lawrence is improving week to week, so that's good to
well,
see.
I want to ask you guys one quick question. What do you think about James Robinson? And has he done enough in a year and 4 games a year and 3 games to cement himself as that back, even over Travis Etienne
You,
next year?
you read my mind. That's the other thing I was thinking about. That he looks like a number one running back, not a
Yeah.
backup.
I think he's done everything and I spoke about it on my podcast. I believe that if James was a first round pick, Travis Etienne wouldn't even be there. And I think a lot of times organizations they're hung up on, well, it can't really be true. He was an undrafted free agent or he was a 6th round pick or a 5th round pick. After week 1, I watched James Robinson. He did everything they asked him to do as far as his blocking assignments and staying in the pass protection, run as far as run blocking. That guy does everything they ask him to do, plus run the ball, and he's averaging 5.9 yards a carry right now. So I think for their benefit, they need to really show him more love and get him the ball more.
Yeah,
well said,
100%
man.
agree with you.
Yeah, he's actually a bell cow, man. I mean, that young man, he showed up and he showed off, and
Yeah.
it just made the Jags kind of the front office look kind of funny right there, right? Like, what are you doing when you already have that talent? You didn't have to go out and spend the first round on a running back. That was like a luxury pick, if you say, because I mean, if you really care, you would have got more offensive line to help out Trevor
True.
Lawrence,
True.
and maybe perhaps if you needed a running back, get a running back later on in the draft. But yeah, hopefully the Jags can learn from that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, he was in the previous regime, so
Yeah, and then one
Yeah.
big injury for the Jacksonville Jaguars was wide receiver DJ Chark suffered a fractured ankle, and he's going to be out indefinitely. So that's a huge blow for that receiving core in Jacksonville.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
Marvin
right.
Jones and Laviska Shenault.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like Chenault looked good.
He did. He's a gadget player, but damn, he can make some plays, man.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're going to see him involved a lot more in the offense now. So we'll be able to actually, judge him as far as, if he's going to be good for the Jags or not.
Last season, I saw him play running back a couple times. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very sneaky player that you're talking about, especially for our fantasy audience.
Yeah, and we'll have that advice coming up here shortly. But first, let's talk about the biggest storylines for week 4, which, I mean, we all know there's one game in particular today that's going to stand out from the rest, and that's Tom Brady going back to New England to play the Patriots. It's going to be a great game. But besides that one, what would you guys say the biggest storyline is for week 4?
Well, that's going to be
The only one, right?
That right
No,
now,
it ain't. No, it's not.
man,
Because
I saw.
let me tell you this.
I know what
care.
you're going to say, Walter. I know what you're going to say.
If you care about football and quality football, it's Rams Cardinals. It has to be Rams Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then I mean, while we can get into, I know you guys have the storylines, but I'll get into my storyline as far as the Rams Cardinals after you, Jerry.
Yeah. No. Well, I was just gonna say, like, with the Ari Mirov, he tweeted out yesterday that when Brady got there, that the fans that were all out there wearing Patriots uniforms were chanting Brady, and you could hear it. I
Saw the
mean,
video.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So it's just like one of those things where, I mean, right now, technically, the Patriots have a defense that could,
Yeah, they do.
that could give Brady problems, and Belichick knows Brady very well. So I think that this is going to be one of the bigger storylines. Is if these Patriots can walk away with the win, which is possible, right? Anything's possible in the NFL. I mean, that's going to trump all the news for now. But as far as football goes, I think, Walter, I think that this game is very important, especially to the West Division. You're talking about the Cardinals and Rams. I mean, you're talking about literally. I'll tell you right now. So for instance, the Rams, their offense, though, this is the overall ranking for the Rams. They are ranked 13th in the NFL. And then you got the Cardinals. The Cardinals are ranked, let me see here. Sorry about that. Number 2 in the NFL, which is insane, and it's nuts. You know what I mean? I don't know. At this point, is who we're going to crown. Is it going to be the winner of today? Going to be the NFC West division?
Well, we got Seattle and San Francisco also today, but I think the biggest thing I think with that Rams Cardinals game is the fact that this is huge game for Kyler Murray, and I think it's huge for Cliff Kingsbury. It's huge for the Cardinals in general, considering the fact that they haven't beaten the Rams since 2016, and they've lost 9 of their last 10 matchups against the Rams, including 8 straight. And then you look at Kyler Murray's numbers; he's only in 4 career starts. He's only thrown for 200+ yards once against the Rams. And he's got a total of 46 rushing yards in 4 games against the Rams. So, he has to prove. He's got a lot to prove. Cliff Kingsbury's got a lot to prove. The Cardinals have a lot to prove because if they go out there today and they lose another game to the Rams, especially if the Rams dominate them, a game like that, a loss like that could send that team into a tailspin because that's still a young football team also.
That's a good game, too. I can't wait to see that one. But the one I've been thinking about all week is the Packers and the Steelers. And for some reason, I've been thinking about this game all week. I'm ready. I want to see if the Steelers are going to bounce back last week in Green Bay. Chase Claypool, I think Claypool is out,
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, Claypool is out. Juju, I think he's questionable. He had a rib. Deontay Johnson is back. And somebody else was back, but I forgot who it was. But I want to see the Steelers and Packers game.
All right. I mean, to me, it's Brady going home, right? I mean, he's coming off a Super Bowl win last year. Patriots struggled last year. They did a lot during free agency. I think it's just going to be a good game. I just hope the weather doesn't impact the game, which it might.
But what's the weather?
Rain in Foxborough.
Would it be raining?
Yep.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
let it impact the game. It's not like Tom never played in rain before.
The other storyline though that I do want to talk about briefly is Jimmy Garoppolo being the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Today they visit Philadelphia. Or no, I'm sorry. If Jimmy struggles today, I think we're going to see Trey Lance go in there and play more than what he did last week.
I don't think Jimmy really struggled last week. I think they asked Jimmy to throw the ball a little too much. But
he did miss a couple plays though that came up crucial towards the end.
He did, but it was odd. He threw the ball 52 times and only averaged, I believe, like 5 yards per attempt.
It's because that defense finally stopped the run, which has been hard for other defenses to do, is stop the 49ers when they go in that running game. So when you
who's going to play running back for the Niners today?
Somebody.
Trey Sermon?
In his
Sermon hurt.
He played last week though, didn't he? Yeah, he played last week.
I think I do believe that the 49ers have that I think that rookie, the
Mitchell.
I believe he's gonna be playing. But I mean, when you look at it, it just shows you that there's a formula out there how to force the 49ers hand. Now, like you said, I think they've been involving Trey Lance in the offense a little bit. He looks good. But that doesn't mean that he's going to be automatically just he could take the NFL by storm. We don't know. We haven't really watched this kid since 2019. He sat out all 2020. And I mean, he looks like he's fitting in well. He looks like he's becoming a leader. Looks like I think I saw him at a game with at what was it? I think it was at the Oregon game with Armstead. He was at the actual Oregon game. Yeah, Anthony Brown. They're all together there, so that's good. That's kind of stuff you want to see in your teams. But an interesting storyline, I think. I know this kind of low key, but it would be coach, right? Andy Reid is coming to town with the against the Eagles, and believe it or not, if he gets this win, it'll be his 100th win as the head football coach of the Chiefs. And what better team to do it against than the Eagles? I would say that. It's a good. I mean, this is what football's all about, man.
Yeah, definitely.
The other one too. I mean, the Colts going 0-4 potentially. Visiting Miami today. That's a huge one. I mean, Carson Wentz, the big offseason trade. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries. Jacoby Brissett starting for the Dolphins still because Tua is out. I just can't see the Colts going 0-4.
Yeah.
I will say this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I actually had that as my my bold prediction that the Colts were actually going to win today. I think, what's going on with the Dolphins, man, it's offensively, you can't have any quarterback averaging 3.5 yards per attempt. Offensively, the Dolphins are looking bad right now.
Hey, well, they gave the Raiders all they can handle last week.
Well, everybody giving the Raiders all they can handle. just so happen the Raiders are winning. The Raiders are winning. I mean, I'll give it to them. They win it, man. You gotta beat who's on your schedule, especially early in the season. Yeah. You want to stockpile wins because things have a tendency to get tougher once that weather starts to change. So, I got the Colts. Even though we're gonna bring that up a little later, as far as bold predictions, but I will take the Colts.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the best matchup for Week 4, Walter.
Best matchup. I'm going to say Seattle and San Francisco. I'm going to take that Seattle wide receiving core, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett versus that banged up 49ers secondary. The 49ers are used to playing the Seahawks, and I've noticed over the past couple seasons, for whatever odd reason, they know exactly what to do, regardless of how many guys are hurt or not in that secondary. They know exactly how to play Seattle. So I'm expecting a low-scoring game, but I think that's going to be one of the best matchups of the day.
Actually, I have two. I really couldn't pinpoint it. I think that the first one, of course, is going to be the Panthers and the Cowboys. Man, so many people are on this Cowboy hype train. I'm not ready to jump on it myself personally, even though I'm a fan of the Cowboys. But I'm just saying, people want to crown them already. That Super Bowl, this and that. I think it's way too early in the season for that. I think they're going to be their best test. The Panthers right now are currently ranked number 1 overall in defense. And they're undefeated also. The second matchup is the Raiders and Chargers. I think that, man, we could potentially smell an upset here with the Chargers coming in for the Raiders coming to town with the Chargers. I mean, I think it's been a little bit out of character for Derek Carr to be talking smack. You know what I mean?
Hey, but everything it says is true. I mean, if you go to a Chargers game, rather it was in San Diego or Los Angeles at the soccer stadium, it's a home game for the opposite team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots and the Buccaneers. I want to see the chess match between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. It's gonna be something to watch tonight.
It's crazy to think that that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Because
Cardinals and Rams.
That's your storyline.
That's my best matchup for Week 4. The winner's gonna be on top of the NFC West. Kyler Murray has played great so far this season, but I need to see something out of him playing against that elite Rams defense. But Matt Stafford's been playing lights out. I mean, to me, he's front runner for MVP. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think as far as that game, I'm glad at least for Stafford, it's not in Arizona. They don't have to go to Arizona for a few weeks because he's had a rough go at it as far as in his career playing at Arizona. But that Arizona defense is different this year. I would kind of question how they handled Isaiah Simmons last year, but he's matured a lot. I like the fact that they are utilizing him not just strictly within the 3-4 as far as that outside linebacker, but they're still backing him back in the coverage. They're utilizing Zaven Collins a lot in coverage. And I think that 49ers, but I think that Cardinals defense right there could potentially give Stafford some problems.
And their defense right now is ranked 10th in the NFL, the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Overall. These are overall rankings.
Yeah. All right. And now it's time for your fantasy advice. Isaac's taking the week off, so I'll go ahead and provide you the information. We'll start with the stardoms. Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Chris Carson, Zach Moss, Calvin Ridley, Odell Beckham Jr., Allen Robinson, Corey Davis, Deebo Samuel, Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan, Dawson Knox, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Higbee, the New Orleans Saints defense, Tennessee's defense, the Washington football team's defense, Ravens defense, and also Chicago's defense. Now for your sit-ems. Teddy Bridgewater, Daniel Jones, Jameis Winston, Sam Darnold, Mark Ingram, Mike Davis, Tony Pollard, Tyson Williams, Giovanni Bernard, he's out, Sammy Watkins, Evan Ingram, Arizona Cardinals defense, New England Patriots defense. So those are your starters and your sit-ems for Week 4.
I mean, fantasy is one of those worlds, man.
Well,
yeah,
I'm not starting. Man. I'm not starting any Bears wide receiver today.
Yeah,
none of them.
I mean, might as well throw in the running backs too. But the rushing attack has been one of the bright sides for their offense. So,
yeah,
about the only bright side.
Yeah, that's on the bright side.
All right, bold predictions for Week 4. Walter.
Colts get their first win of the season over the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins aren't doing enough offensively. They've got all of their wide receivers, all their skill position players at their disposal, but things just aren't really clicking right now with Jacoby Brissett and those teams and those guys. Like I said, he's averaging close to, I think, 4 yards per attempt, which is not going to get you too many wins in the NFL right now. I think the Colts played better last year. They did play better last year, actually.
They did.
But, yeah, as far as last week, they played better against the pass last week. So, yeah, I'm going with those Colts to get that first win and get that monkey off their backs.
Man.
What you got, Jerry?
There's just so much out there, right? I don't know why, but a team that keeps on popping out to me is man, I'm gonna have to stay homer right there, man. That Panthers Cowboys game, I think that it just pretty if I'm gonna be pretty bold, I'm gonna have to say, the Cowboys are gonna win, and I think that's saying a lot because that's a very tough defense. They're stopping the run. And they're able to actually stop the actual offensive game too. So for the Cowboys, for me to say that they're going to win, that says something. So that's a very bold prediction to say.
I'm going with the Steelers upsetting the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers going to throw 2 interceptions at home.
That's bold.
Wow. That is really, really bold.
And I'm going to go with the Panthers over the Cowboys.
You're going to go with the Panthers over the Cowboys?
Yeah, I'll go with the Panthers over the Cowboys. All right. Lock to win.
Packers over Steelers. I think Big Ben is washed. I don't throw that word around that often, but I saw a clip of Ben falling down attempting to throw a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I think, listen, man, Ben is washed. I think they brought him back. They're suffering from what a lot of organizations suffer from when they had a great historical quarterback and they've won with him so much. They find it hard to kind of usher him out the door. But like I said, I think Ben is done. I think they didn't do enough to help that offensive line during the offseason. So now they're in a situation where Najee Harris, as great of a talent as he is, he's starting to look like a wasted pick within that offense. The defense has done a lot. The defense can't do everything. So I do have them losing 35-10 to the Packers today.
Kendall.
I'm going Chiefs over Eagles.
Oh yeah, too easy.
Yeah,
that's why they play the game.
But I'll do the same. Chiefs over Eagles.
Chiefs. Yeah, 1 o'clock, Kansas City.
I mean, look, if the Chiefs lose today, they're in trouble.
I'm saying here in Detroit, it's rainy and cool and windy today, so I'm pretty sure Philadelphia ain't getting too much better than us. I gotta check out the weather though.
Are you talking about locks to win right now?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shoot. I mean, there's so many ways I could go with this. I mean, I think right now, if I was to say the Cardinals over the Rams, that'd be a good lock to win. But give me the Chargers over the Raiders, man. The Raiders, I think, are posers just like they were last year.
Wow.
All right. And then so it looks like there might be a chance of rain in Philly today. 40% chance for kickoff. So we'll see.
Oh yeah.
I mean, both offenses are struggling right now. More the Eagles, of course, but I think the Chiefs will get back on track today. All right. Any final thoughts before we end the show?
Yeah.
I have a question too. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jerry. Oh no, go ahead, Jerry.
I was gonna say, what player has impressed you guys so far? I know it's really early in the process, but what player has impressed you? It could be offense or defense.
I'm going Sam Darnold.
Sam
Darnold for the Panthers.
Okay.
That whole team is impressive, but Sam Darnold really impressed me. Sometimes, like they say, sometimes a change of scenery is good.
Yeah.
I'll go with Sam as well. He's look good.
What about you, Walt?
I'm going to go with Asante Samuel Jr. I think he's been playing outstanding for what they're asking him to do over there with the Chargers.
Yeah.
But
man, I mean, there's so many players, and that was kind of like what I was trying to get to is overall like who's impressed you the most. And I think I want to hand it to the entire Panthers actual team, man. They're a team that you have to reckon with, and I believe we're talking about a potential NFC South division winners here, which is hard because you got the Buccaneers right there in that division.
Yeah. And a quick side note, Richard Sherman that was recently signed by the Tampa Bay Bucks will be playing tonight.
Wow. Pretty good.
Yes.
That's good.
But I got a quick question.
I think they say he's going to start too.
Yeah. I mean, they have no option. They're banged up, man.
Hey, but
Sean Bunting, right? I think
he's out too. I got a quick betting question for you guys. Can you please explain to me why the Baltimore Ravens are 1.5 point favorites at Denver?
Because they have the rank. Their offense is ranked higher. Right now, the actual Ravens offense is ranked 4th in the entire NFL.
It's a lot of running in the football.
Well,
it is because when you look at their passing yards, they are ranked. Let me see. The Ravens are ranked 18th in passing yards, and they're ranked 1st in rushing. They're averaging almost 185 yards a game. That's just combined. It's not one player.
Yes. Yeah. They I think they moved up in the rankings mainly because of what they did to us last week here at Detroit. They didn't put up a lot of points, but they did throw the ball a lot. So I don't know. I just think Denver overall is better to me right now. You look at the fact that if we just look at the teams, if we look at Baltimore, they're beat up right now. They got 16 players on IR.
That's crazy.
Lamar really can't throw the ball unless he's throwing the ball against a bad defense and a bad secondary. Marquise Brown is dropping everything his hands come across. The
At
Denver
one moment, he was
Broncos.
hot.
Hold up. Yeah, he was. The Denver Broncos have the number 2 defensive football, right behind the
Yes.
Carolina Panthers.
Yes, they are.
Right.
As expected, they were gonna have a good
Yes.
defense this year.
Yes. Teddy's completing 78%, either 74 or 78% of his passes right now. He's averaging 9 yards per attempt. Tim Patrick is coming on. I understand the Broncos have some injuries too, but I think you take into account what the Ravens actually are. They squeaked out. They lost that last second game to the Raiders in week 1. They squeaked out a win over us. They squeaked out a win over the Rams. I think they played better teams. Denver has played worse teams, but I've been way more impressed with Denver and their wins over lesser teams than I have been with them.
But I mean, look who they played though. I mean, it's
True.
easy not to be, not look good against those teams that they played against. And then also too, with Baltimore, I mean, they, you said on top that they're dealing with a lot of injuries. I believe Rashad Bateman will play today, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how he does. Yeah, I think Baltimore's going to win this game.
Really?
I think so, but we'll see. They've been kind of playing up and down and all year.
Well, I'm gonna ask you guys that too. How much of it is Justin Tucker as your kicker? Because I mean, they only giving him 1.5 points. It's only 1.5 points.
Well, I mean, I would assume it would have to do a little bit with it. I mean, he did kick a 66-yard field goal last week to beat the Lions, and then that elevation in Denver, it's even easier for him to kick a long-distance field goal. So,
who you guys got in that game then, if that's the case? Because I know Fidel's going
Baltimore.
Right. I'll take Denver.
Man, Bill Lamar's going to be careful running that football, though. I mean, sooner or later, he's going to get whacked like we saw last year in the playoffs against Buffalo, and he's going to get hurt.
I think it's going to be close, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put in my notes. I put on there. This is going to be an extremely close game. Like you said, Teddy Bridgewater right now, his completion percentage is 76.5. He's ranked second behind Dak Prescott at 77.5. So, I mean, right now, the Broncos have that. I mean, it looks like Teddy's fit into a good situation there with the Broncos.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a very close game right here. I don't know, man. And from what we've been seeing these last couple of weeks, is the Ravens have been barely coming away with these wins. I mean, last week was just a miracle kick that set the all-time record, right? So
yeah,
can you do that in Denver? I don't know. I mean, I've been to Denver. It's kind of hard to breathe. I mean, they call it the Mile High Stadium for a reason. So it's gonna be a very tough game for the Ravens to match up. But I think I changed it at the last minute. I put Broncos, but it's gonna be a very close game.
Yeah, I think that Broncos secondary is just gonna be too much.
Yeah,
for Baltimore throwing the football today.
We're gonna see a lot of Lamar Jackson running that football today, I think. So and some of it's gonna be escaping for his life.
A lot of Von Miller.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else, guys, that you guys wanted to touch on before we end the show?
Lions beat the Bears today.
I think so too, actually. Justin Fields is for Chicago Bears.
Mac Jones, I need you tonight.
Go ahead and call him, man. Tell him, hey, man, I need you to play the best game of your life. Hey, I think the bright lights are going to be too much for him, though.
Hey, we'll see.
The Lions have been looking real good, man. The Lions have been looking real good lately. I mean, they've been coming away with some very close.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified, man.
Walter, before the show ends, I want you to admit something.
Yeah, I think we should all talk about our teams.
As we were telling you, I believe it was me and Jerry throughout this whole offseason that Jared Goff was going to be better than what people expected, and he has been. Can you admit that he's been playing better than what you thought he would?
No, he has. He has. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure if he's the guy that's going to get you.
He needs help, man.
No. Well, he has help. Let's think about it now. They've got one of the best offensive lines of football. One of the best offensive lines of football right now.
Who's it throwing the football to?
Nobody's.
TJ Hawkinson.
Besides him.
Yeah.
That looks like it's good
Jamal Williams. He's throwing the ball to Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift.
Come on, man. Get the guys some help. They'll play better.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that. I believe if Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones were still on this team.
Oh yeah.
We will probably have 2 wins right now.
Yeah.
There's a good chance we would. So
I do think the Lions do get the first one today.
Man, I hope. Listen, we have bad things happen to us. As good of a chance as it is that we have to win today, there's also a good chance Justin Fields could go out there and throw 4 touchdowns today.
All bad things come to an end, and that's going to be today in Chicago. Lions get the first one.
I hope so, man. Well, we saw 9 games of Mitchell Trubisky completing damn near 80% of his passes against us and touchdowns galore in 300-yard games. So would it shock me if Justin Fields went out there and had his Michael Jordan shoulder shrug moment? Like, I don't know how guys are getting so wide open. It's the Lions.
Hey, who's Ryan Tannehill going to be throwing the football to? A.J. Brown and Julio Jones are both out today.
Man,
Kevin Dyson.
Reynolds. They got Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys name 2 offensive receivers?
I think it's just gonna be King Henry right there, man. I think
Yeah.
they're just gonna give him the ball and hopefully he can come.
Do you think he pops 180 yards rushing today against the Jets?
No.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't, because
what about over
the Jets have
150?
been good. The Jets have been good defensively.
They
haven't been anything on offense. But
So you guys think the Jets get their first one today?
Let me see.
Ooh, I told No that earlier. He had Tennessee as one of his locks of the week. I told him, like, don't be shocked if you sweating in the fourth quarter. And that's some weird 19-16 game, man. The Jets have played well defensively. And I don't know who Tannehill's going to throw the ball to. And you can't just I think the Jets figure they're going to do that. They're going to try to give Henry the ball 32 plus times. They know.
So the Jets defense is ranked 11th in the actual NFL in total. They're ranked 14th against the. Let me see here. This is rushing yards. So they're ranked 14th against the rush, and they're ranked 10th against the passing. They're only allowing 217 yards passing, and they will allow 111 yards rushing. So, but overall, that defense is right there, man, ranked 11th within the top 15. So it's a good matchup for the Titans, man. It's gonna be a good test, like you said. I mean, it's gonna be a sweater to the end, man.
I mean, if you want the NFL to take you serious, Tennessee, you got to beat Jet. You got to beat the Jets.
And that's thank you, and that's the problem. If we go back to last season, I don't know if it's Vrabel, I don't know if it's the defense, the offense, whatever. This is a very inconsistent football team. Like, they'll go out, they'll beat a team that they shouldn't beat and beat them bad, and then they'll
like
turn
Seattle
around.
away, coming back in that win in overtime.
Yeah, then they'll turn around and they'll have one of those letdown games against a lesser team or whatever. So Tennessee needs to prove they're legit.
Yeah. What's up, Kendall? I see you smiling, man.
Yeah, man. What's up?
Hey, I'm just ready for the games, man.
All right. And with that being said, thank you everyone out there for watching. Enjoy the games. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.